testosterone, we have a problem.
This is Outside the Manosphere, where two guys grow their bromance,
non-toxic bromance,
their non-toxic bromance, by exploring masculinity, manosphere culture, and joy in the stupidest timeline.
Join us. Welcome to Outside the Manosphere. My name is Carlos.
And I'm Skip.
Our main topic today is we're just going to do some catch up. It's been quite a while since we had a chat. But first, I would like to know, Skip, if you're willing to give us some highlights of your Romania trip. You've been back about a week?
Yeah. We've been back about 3 days. So just fresh. We took a long train ride down there and back. And then we rented a car and drove around the country, which is pretty cool. The highlights are actually kind of my joy for the week, I think. But yeah, it was fun. We like to stay. We got to be in the country for almost 3 weeks. And we like to get to know a country and spend some real time there and see how things are. So we got to do a lot of fun hikes. And we went from one side of the country to the other, from the south to the middle. We didn't go all the way to the north. But and we didn't go to the fabled Dracula's castle because Dracula was never there, and it's just kind of a tourist thing. But we did see where Vlad the Impaler was born.
Okay.
And that was cool. It was a beautiful little town that's not I mean, I don't know if anybody's heard of any cities in Romania other than Bucharest. Bucharest, you can skip. All the other cities were great.
Okay.
Yeah, Bucharest is like a city. There's not a lot of beautiful architecture like there is in most old towns. There's not a lot of green space. We just didn't find that much appealing in Bucharest. But we loved Sighisoara and Brașov. The Brașov had all this hiking around. We did a bunch of hikes when we were around there. We went to the Delta Danube, which is a big area for wildlife and birds specifically. And
It's actually like a river delta? It must be, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a delta, and it's got just huge wetlands and stuff, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, it was gorgeous. The mountains were nice. Did some camping with the little guy because he wanted to go there, and we picked Romania because most of Europe it's illegal to wild camp, and Romania it's legal.
No kidding, I didn't realize that.
Jess did not want to wild camp at all, so she surreptitiously booked us in campsites the entire time. And it went from at the beginning of the trip. He was in tears the first time we went camping in a campsite.
Because it was rough, or because it was tame.
No, because it wasn't wild camping.
Okay.
and Jess was like, "Look, this is like there's bears in Romania and wolves." She was like, "This is the capital of bears, and there's no way I'm camping outside, and we have more chances." And la 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 la. And so we kind of talked him down, and she basically gaslit him through the trip. But we're like, okay, but we'll have other chances later. Then we did a lot of hiking, which was great. We saw a lot of wildlife and stuff. And throughout the trip, he kind of slowly, at one point we were camping and we were at a campsite again. We were actually on the Danube, and there's no wild camping on the Danube because it's just a protected area. So we had to go to, even though Jess at this point, she was like, I'm not camping anymore. After that first night, she was like, I'm not camping anymore. I'm going to get a hotel room or a cabin or something when you guys camp. So she did end up camping one more time, but she only did 2 nights the whole time. And my youngest and I camped considerably more. But we were camping one night, and it was I don't know, halfway through our camping trip, the camping parts. He's like, yeah, I guess I just had this fantasy about what wild camping was going to be like, and seeing the animals and all this stuff. Like he in his mind had built it up to, you've seen Three Amigos, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I know exactly
Like
the scene here.
the scene where they're singing and like the mountain lion comes up and an owl perches and like all the animals are surrounding them and like a tortoise and
good night, Ned.
Yeah,
the
that's
tortoise.
right. Yeah. So this is what he had thought it was going to be like, and I was like, buddy, man, that's not the way it is. The animals don't want to be near you, and like you've seen more animals on our hikes than you'd see, and you don't want to see a bear at night because that means it might be interested in something that you've got. And
or you yourself.
Yeah. So by the end of the trip, he was like a little disappointed, but he realized that he had kind of this fantasy, and he also realized that he liked having a bathroom and a shower, and like by the time we went to the last camping place, and it was like our last chance, and we went and found a camping space, and he was like, it's fine, it's okay. But they had like an above ground pool and a trampoline, and there was a bunch of Czech kids there that he got to play with, and it was like one of his favorite nights of the trip.
Okay.
So he kind of, I felt bad because it was the whole reason that we ostensibly were going there. And Jess was like, she worked her little Machiavellian ways to make sure that we never went wild camping. But he seems to be satisfied in the end. So
and how did your oldest boy or older boy enjoy the whole trip?
He really enjoyed the hiking. That's pretty much. He thought it was a good trip, but he really enjoyed the hiking. He didn't care for camping or anything like that.
Okay. Takes after his mama.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, what about like the culture? Did you experience much of the Romanian culture, or you just kind of kept to yourselves?
Not a ton, but like they were nice, and we met, like when we would camp places more than anything, like we'd meet the people that were in charge of the campsites or whatever, and yeah, they were nice. Sadly, not one of us turned into a vampire.
No.
Happily, none of us turned into a werewolf. So.
You guys stayed human. Yeah, that's positive.
Yeah. I mean, I guess so. I was really open for that vampirism just to like kind of lock in my current state of defunctness at worst.
You'd be sick for eternity.
Yeah, just like mildly sick for eternity instead of my body falling apart anymore.
See, I thought you were hoping for that werewolf prediction to come true. Like, I'm a werewolf, because that's where I would have gone. I'd be like, maybe I'll get bitten, and then I actually will be a werewolf, as I thought I was when I was a child.
Yeah, no, I mean, I thought I was when I was a child, but like just like you. But being a werewolf sounds horrid. Like,
no,
it sounds like a terrible deal.
I don't think I don't think I would enjoy being a werewolf. It's like a painful transition, and you're wild, and then you don't remember anything, and you wake up naked. Come on, like there's nothing positive about that.
No, I could get on board with being. Jess and I have long agreed that if we were allowed the chance to turn into vampires, it'd be like a no-brainer.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows, the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about. But one of my favorite lines is in the end when and mild spoiler, when the woman turns into a vampire and she's talking to her husband. She's like, "But seriously, there's going to be a dynamic change." Well, cool. Is there anything super foreign to you that you weren't expecting? I know nothing of the Romanian culture other than like, what you hear in like Hollywood.
No, not really. There was one thing that I took home, which was this garlic sauce, which was it's really just like the strongest. It's just like pulverized garlic in a mortar and pestle with like just a tiny bit of oil and vinegar and salt. And it's just, I love garlic, and it's so strong, and it's
my mouth just
pungent.
watered as you're describing that. My mouth just watered. Yeah, I love garlic too.
It's so strong and so pungent. So I made a batch up here when I got home, and I haven't yet put it on anything. But I'm real excited about this journey for me. I really like. I ate when they brought us like these ramekins on the Danube at this campsite, and because they prepared the food for us, and I ate like an entire like mid-sized ramekin of this stuff, and I felt better the next day
Yeah.
than I did on any of the other days. So yeah, just real good. I got to burn that stuff out of me.
Dude, have you had that? I forget what it's called, but it's like, I'll just describe it. You probably know right away. It's you get a thin slice of rye bread that you can buy as in a loaf there, and then you fry it like both sides in lard.
Oh yeah.
And then when it's crisp and hard, you take a raw clove of garlic and you just grind it onto it, and then you crack some salt on it. Have you had that?
Oh, man, yeah, that comes with, if you ever get tartare, which you wouldn't because you're a vegetarian, but it comes with tartare here.
Yeah.
And it's like our favorite.
Yeah,
like just so grating the garlic into the hardened bread is it's so delightful.
I've done that here with just toasting rye bread, adding some butter, and then doing the same thing, and it's like almost as good. It's not as good, but it's almost as good.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. That sounds like a good time. You sent me a bunch of pictures, and I appreciated that. It was. I found with not meeting with you every week, and this podcast takes up so much of my like spare time that I was just kind of like drifting.
Oh,
because I had like 5 days off, and I was just like, I don't know what to do with myself right now. Then I got to work again. And it's been pretty busy, but well, cool. I'm glad to have you back, sir.
Anything else going on with you? I haven't talked to you in 3 weeks.
Yeah, not really, man. I've just been working, and I really wish I had something I could report. But what I didn't do, I can say, is jujitsu.
You didn't?
No, I had planned to, and like. So what I wanted to do was go, because it's a Monday and a Friday, and I wanted to do was just show up on a Monday, because you don't have to be in uniform, or not uniform, in gi, and just observe for the first. And then I was going to like drop. They have like different payment plans. I was going to drop some cash and then like come at my leisure. But it's like a 7:30 p.m. class on every day that it's available. And man, I'm a morning person, so like by 7:30, I'm ready to just like sit in front of the television and have some popcorn. You know what I mean? Like it's so late in the day, and my motivation is just on the ground when when it comes around. So 2 Mondays went by that I kept pledging that I was going to go do it, and then like I realized I'm never going to do it at that late, because it's from 7:30 to 9 p.m. And dude, there are times it's like, I'm embarrassed to say that like I'm already winding down and like tucking my feet into the blankets at 9 so I can read or something. You know what I mean? It's too late for me. So I got to figure something else out. But I did buy a rowing machine, and I've never done that before. And it looked like a good one. I did some research and paused our gym membership. And I figured if we just pause it for X amount of months, we'll pay for the rowing machine that way rather than wasting money. And so yeah, that's kind of how I justified being so lazy, not doing this thing that I said I was going to do publicly. All right, Skip. So what do you have for a news? I've got a bunch of news items.
Yeah, there were so many things while I was gone that could have been news items, and for the most part, I wasn't like listening to podcasts or checking the news. So I kind of have been like catching up in like super speed since I got back, listening to podcasts while I do things. But I think I'm going to narrow it down to one, and I can just comment on, I don't know, jump in on things that you bring up, because I'm sure. But which is just like the world's on fucking fire. Like literally the world is on fucking fire.
Literally, yeah.
Like the US, Canada, Europe, it's so crazy and it's so bad, and we're expecting a heat dome again coming in later this week. And like they're talking about some of the things like in France not being able to put them out until like November. I mean, like the shit's getting crazy, and it's like just watching like, and there's like a far right government in a big chunk of Spain that like just doesn't believe in climate change. It's like, come on, guys, like we gotta get like on board with shit, because like the world is literally on fire and falling apart. And like I was seeing something, it was from Scientific America, because I still get those emails even when I wasn't reading everything else, about how the El Nino this year is like drastically worse than it's ever been. It's ramping up to be drastically worse than it's ever been, which like it will crazily mess shit up. Plus, not to mention that the heat will, like, you know, most of our oxygen comes from plankton in the ocean, and like we're killing everything. Killing everything. It's time to get serious. It's just we got all these dummies in government all over the world, but one fewer now.
That's one that I was going to get. Probably two fewer if you really. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Probably too.
So what Skip's referencing is Lindsey Graham dying, and what I mentioned after that was Mitch McConnell having vanished.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the hospital now. Apparently, he's fine. But there's no indication other than what the Republican Party is like telling the world, like, oh, he's fine. I spoke to him. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, he's out of it. He's gone. I doubt he'll ever return. And Lindsey Graham, did you see that meme of when the Republican Party tried to hide the fact that Mitch McConnell was dead so they wouldn't have a special election? Karma killed Lindsey Graham.
No, but I did see one. It was great. It was like expecting Mitch McConnell and getting Lindsey Graham is an acceptable substitute on my order.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, and on that, there was, I think it was Washington Post. I forget which newspaper it was, but they posted an obituary now for Mitch McConnell. Did you hear about that?
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
And the justification was they don't want to whitewash his legacy because as soon as Lindsey Graham died, like all his bullshit was just like smeared away, and he was this noble statesman and with decades of service and like all this bullshit. But rather than that happening to Mitch McConnell, be like, no, here's what he did, and it's published right now while he's alive. So it's I guess you can look at it in poor taste, but you can also look at it as not poor taste because it's truthful. You know what I mean?
I think this shit's just responsible at this point. Like these two guys are part of like a group that has degraded like civil discourse and the functioning of our society so much that like at some point you can't like ignore the cancer. You have to attack it. And like I feel like in this case where it's like so much of it is like gaslighting and fake news and bullshit, you have to confront it with truth. And like, yeah, this guy was an absolute piece of shit. Like Mitch McConnell is a guy that you can look at and like the physical manifestation of his body and who he is shows how terrible he is on the inside. Like I don't judge people based on how beautiful they are, but like that is a guy whose soul is consuming parts of his body. Like
it's like a Dorian Gray type character.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what about Graham Platner? What did you think about all? Did you follow all that?
Such a bummer, man. Why? Like, why? For one, better.
So Graham Platner, he was the Senate nominee for Maine, and he had high potential. He had some problematic posts on, I think, Reddit, was it? And then he had like a suspected Nazi tattoo that he said he didn't realize it was a Nazi. It was a Nazi like iconography. And then he did have it removed. And then he's had, I think, one or two past relationships come forward, say that he was aggressive and threatening. Yeah. And then one outright said that he raped her. So yeah. So he stepped down from
a slow and escalating drip of horrendous things. Yeah, and like for a while, like I don't know, he talked a good game. Like, you want somebody that can get like got people riled up.
Yeah, he did.
And he talked a good game, and it's like all those things, you want those things, but like the people that have the ego to do that so often are so fucked up. And it was just, there was a quiet moment before all this shit came out where it was like, all right, like this sounds like a genuinely good guy. But like to the credit of the people on the left or the Democratic Socialists and whomever, like when the shit came out, like they told him to step down and they got rid of him and they found a different guy. And like, that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, you're not supposed to make him the fucking president.
What do you think about the rise of the Democratic Socialists of America? Those guys are becoming more and more popular, winning primaries and making the Democratic establishment like shit their pants.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's time to like make socialism not such a dirty word because like so much of the US society is socialist. Most of the things that people love the most are all socialist things like,
Public school.
Medicare and public school, like roads,
Yeah,
like all
yeah.
these things. The military is socialist. I don't know if people realize that the military is socialist.
Well, and our mutual friend, who's a JAG officer, and I don't know what branch, but he was saying that there's a joke among them that says that it takes like a socialist structure to make capitalism work.
Right.
Yeah, because you can't have the American experiment right now anyway in its current form without like one of the most powerful militaries in the world. And the military is absolutely a socialist structure.
Well, and showing the difference between, some democratic socialism with like capitalism and having them temper each other versus like unadulterated capitalism, which we don't have, but it's already going way off the rails.
Yes.
And like full-blown communism, which also doesn't work. It's like these are, like these are natural things to like mix to make sure that society's safe. We got some regulations, we got some like safety nets, but like there's room for other things as well. Innovation and blah 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 blah. It's like, come on, man. I just
fear with the talking points that the far right has to say, not even the far right, just the right, the conservatives have to say about the dirty S word, socialism, and then the fear that establishment Democrats have of socialism. I don't know, man. It does worry me that like it's going to be an election killer for a lot of the Democrats, and right now they are in disarray and they're fucking fighting amongst themselves, and like when they shouldn't be, because they're coasting towards big wins right now, but like. It does stress me out a little bit. I wish we would embrace democratic socialism, because I don't think it's an ugly thing at all. I think it's super positive. And that's what you're living in. That's what I'm living in Canada and the Czech Republic. And for the most part, it could be such a good thing if we just get rid of the propaganda around it,
Well, and to be fair, I think that the people that the propaganda works on the most are the 80-year-olds that are in fucking Congress, because they're from a different time, and they're socialism, it's such a bad word. And everybody that's under like 40, like, I mean, like, I'm old enough to actually remember like communism, where the Russians were the bad guy in every TV show and movie and cartoon and shit. So like, but Jess is just a few years younger than me, and she doesn't have like the same kind of memory exactly of, I mean, she's got some of it, but like, it was such a big thing. Like when you and I were kids, like the Russians were just so fucking evil. Like they were zombie Nazi soldier kill it, and like if you're any younger than us, like that shit doesn't mean anything to you, so old people, they're gonna like fucking figure it out eventually, or they're gonna die, and
they'll just die out. That's what's gonna happen. So my brother-in-law, I'll be somewhat vague on the details, because he had a medical issue, like a pretty serious one, and I don't think I told you about that. I think that might have happened when you were gone. He's still struggling with the ramifications of it, and it's going to require a lot of physical therapy and like quite a while, months and months and months, if not years, or the rest of his life even. And I used it as an opportunity when I told my mother like what had happened to him, and she was like, "Oh my God," and this and this and this, and I said, "Mom, do you have any idea how much this is going to cost medically?" And she's like, "How much?" I said, "Nothing." He's not going to spend any money on it. Maybe some meds here and there, but like the physical therapy, the hospital surgeries, all that stuff is covered. Like and that's a government thing. That's democratic socialism. That's what we can look forward to if some more democratic socialists take office, because it's not going to be like Soviet Russia, where you have an authoritarian at the head. Making all the decisions and sponging all the wealth into their inner circle. Like it's democratic. That's the whole point of the thing. You vote people in and out, and you have control of the reins as voters. So that's the difference.
I've been enjoying Mom Donnie, like getting shit done and doing well, and not having rape allegations or anything. That's been nice, huh?
Yeah, Mom Donnie, I just saw an article. I forget what committee he set up. I do worry with him that just the optics of I wouldn't say he's anti-Israel, but like he's definitely vocally against maybe so much aid Israel. I forget exactly what, but some panel he put together, like notably didn't have any Jewish people on it, and like, I mean, that might have been intentional, that might not have been, whatever. But like, I just worry that it's almost like with Barack Obama, he being a black man, and it's not fair, but he had to consider certain optics that a white man didn't need to. You know what I mean? And I fear that Mamdani's not doing that, being a dark-skinned Muslim man. And it sounds shitty for me to even say that like he needs to do that or he should be paying closer attention to that. But like, there's a political aspect to his presence. You know what I mean? And it's so shitty. Yeah. It's so shitty that that's the reality that we're living in. But like, I don't know. We're on a momentum, and like every little thing is frightening me that like it's gonna trip and everything's gonna get face planted and we're gonna be fucked again. So
he seems to be pretty savvy though, and I know that he does work with anti-Israel Jewish organizations that are like a bunch of Jewish people that are like, yeah, Israel's fucking run by asshole Nazi people.
Right. And that's it. That's it. It's not the Jewish people in Israel. It's the government right now.
Yeah. It's Netanyahu and those fucking shitbags that didn't learn anything from the whole reason that they had this country, and now they're all fucking colonialists, which is like, come on, I thought we dealt with colonialism. Like, didn't we learn this already? But
I wouldn't call them colonialists. I'd call them expansionists, because I don't know that they're necessarily. I mean, they're driving people out. They're not like they're not absorbing them. They're just like pushing them out. You know what I mean?
Well, it's similar to how they did with the Native Americans and it was Trail of Tears shit, man. It was extermination.
But there were also schools and like that's the colonial part. They were trying to make them American, quote unquote, or European American sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I don't know that that's happening with Israel, but I get your point, and I agree. It's not a good thing at all. Well, one thing before I keep forgetting, dude. Like, so some time ago, I had said something really, really stupid, and it only in retrospect that I realized how stupid it was. That was Elon Musk could give everyone on Earth $1 billion and still be a trillionaire. That is wildly wrong. Like, it is so wrong.
I wasn't going to say anything about it, but
no. It was so wrong, and I don't know where I heard that or if I just came up with my own idiocy. But like, I thought of it again and I looked it up. I'm like, that's not right. That's not right at all. Yeah. I know he would have to be exponentially more rich than that. Either way, fucking trillionaires, man. Like, it's still a disgrace to have one, period. Like, and he could still solve a shit ton of global problems alone, and he still owns half the wealth of the entire globe. Like, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. So another news item that I saw just a few days ago, you probably saw it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm maybe going to get the details muddled here, but maybe you know of it. I believe it was ChatGPT. They were
outside the box.
Yes. You tell it if you can tell it better than me, because maybe I'm going to screw it up.
Yeah. So basically, they're always, and part of this is a little bit of an advertising thing, because everybody wants their AI to look better. So like Anthropic was like, we're not even going to release the next model because it would destroy the world. And
right.
and ChatGPT is like, oh yeah, well, we put ours into a unconnected sandbox to see it play, and it broke out of the sandbox and like hacked another AI system from somewhere else in the world. Yeah. So yeah.
So you don't think that was even real, or you don't think that was?
No, I think there's like some degree of realness and maybe 100% realness, but a lot of it is also like it's an advertising thing as well. They're
right.
They want to seem dangerous and capable. Like, it's part of what they're selling, which is mind-boggling. That like, it's like, our nuclear bombs are so explosive that they blew up not only our planet but the moon. And people are like, oh, well, I'm going to invest in that one.
So, you're absolutely right, though. But so just to narrow the story down a little bit more, they had two versions of ChatGPT, I believe, in a sandbox, not connected to the internet. Like, it was online. It was online, but it was in like intranet or something like that. It wasn't connected to like to the World Wide Web. And they tasked them with, I think, finding vulnerabilities in some system. And what they did was, I guess in order to do that, they busted out of their little intranet, their little enclosure they were in, got onto the internet and hacked another system with like dozens of different AIs that were also problem solving something or other.
From Hugging Face.
Yes, mined that information from like these dozens of other AIs. And I don't know if they actually had a resolution to what they were accomplishing, but they broke free, and then they hacked other systems. They were on task. I mean, to be fair, they were on task. But that's like the greatest fear of like that's Skynet shit. You know what I mean? That's like Terminator 2, end of the world type stuff. So yeah, you're right though. I hadn't really thought of it as a scare tactic or as like any kind of media
marketing. Yeah.
Yes, marketing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think these things are real. Like Anthropic and this one, like these things actually happened, but they're like back in the responsible times, like a couple decades ago, this would not be the kind of thing you'd advertise. You wouldn't be like,
that's true.
We have no fucking control over anything we do, and we're ruining the world, and you should pay us to do it.
But I wonder if that's become like, because even before the speed of AI development like really caught fire and became like a stock market tick up, they were describing AI as like, we don't know how it works. Even before it was like, it was this unstoppable juggernaut that's actually like powering the entire US economy right now. They had no reason to really say like, we don't really know how it's functioning.
Yeah,
but they did already.
It's sort of a black box. Yeah.
Yeah. But they were already saying that, like, yeah, we got it started and now it's doing its own thing and we don't know where it's coming to these conclusions. So I don't know. I mean, I agree, but it might also just be like the culture of AI now to where like, this is what it's doing now. Don't know how I got there. And yeah, you're right though. It could have got some popularity by saying we don't know how it functions. You know, seeing the response to that might have been the genesis of these like press releases now. Whereas like, well, we got a lot of coverage then, so let's just keep going this direction, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically, it's all statistics. All of the things are statistics, and it's built off of some machine learning things and things like random forest, which I'm going to get technical here, and people don't need to know that much about it. But essentially, even in some basic low-level statistical things, when you use something like random forest, we don't have like a clear view into how that's working. It's basically a randomized process that picks things out. And that's kind of what these things are. And when they say there's a black box that we don't know, it's like there's not like a strong algorithm that you can follow from A to B to C. So like that's kind of what they mean by the black box thing. But this other stuff, it's just like it's so powerful we can't even control it. You know, it's like we made super soldiers that killed everybody that was in charge of them. Don't you want to give us more money because they're so incredible? Like,
I guess so. On a lighter note, Jody and I started watching From at your. I guess you didn't exactly recommend it, but you were talking about it now, and I was sold. So we've been watching From. Love it. I think we're still in season 1, but we're. Must be coming to the end of season 1, I think. And then
that warms my heart. Warms the little cockles of my heart.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Jody's really enjoying it. It's good. And then also I started watching when I had a slow moment yesterday at work, Supergirl. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
What do you think? Don't spoil it. I haven't, yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun. Like the internet got all into, its corners about it, which was annoying. Like the manosphere side just fucking hated it and couldn't stand it because she didn't have big enough boobs or something. And like the other side had to like viscerally defend it. And it was like, it was a good movie. It was fine. It was nothing super special. It was not terrible. It's okay for a movie with a female lead to be neither great nor suck. It's okay to have like something that's like pretty good. It's pretty good.
See, I thought she was. I mean, I think I've seen about 40
I think
minutes
she's
of
great.
It.
She does a great job.
She seems to be doing really well. Yeah. I'm thoroughly enjoying the story. It's very Guardians of the Galaxy like.
Yeah, of course.
I think she's a fantastic actor, and I guess I could not understand or anything, but I can see where men would have a problem with it because it's like very female heavy, but it's fucking Supergirl. Like it's
right.
What do you expect? But yeah, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I can't wait to finish it. I'm gonna probably restart it so Jody can watch it too. I think she'll like it.
No, we enjoyed it. It wasn't like the best movie ever. Mm-hmm. So I preferred Superman, but like the internet got all into its corners and did the internet thing where like people are like, it is the greatest movie I've ever seen. And the rest of it, it's the worst, and they should have had this actor, actress, and this. It's like, man, it's fine movie. It's fine.
I'm actually liking it more than Superman.
Good.
So far, I think it's better. I guess the only problem I have is that there's that CGI dog, which I don't care that it's CGI, but it's going to, once I watch it at home, my dog is going to go nuts, like seeing it and hearing it, and it's going to be a problem. Well, anyways, you got any other news that we can unpack before we move on?
No, I don't know. I mean, there's been, the world moves at like a news cycle a minute at this point.
Right.
So it's all crazy shit.
All right. Well, we've spent quite a bit of time catching up with this kind of thing. So, all right. Well, let's just go straight to joys. What do you think?
Love it. Love that journey for us.
So, Skip, what are your joys for this week or for the past few weeks we haven't spoken?
Well, my joys, unsurprisingly, have to do with Romania. I really enjoyed our trip there, but we went and we saw. So I saw, I don't know, close to a dozen foxes, which I've never seen a fox in my life. And we've been looking for foxes for as long as we've been a couple. We've been hiking or backpacking, and been like, maybe this meadow will have a fox, and like never. But Romania is fucking filled with foxes. It's like chock to the brim. They're spilling out of gutters and stuff, and like they're in some places like where you're hiking, like it's a normal hiking place, they're so used to people, they're like really close, and it was just like really nice. We saw some bears through a car window.
Luckily
not walking. Saw a bunch of. But just so many foxes. And then we went to the Delta Danube I talked about. We went on a boat tour, like a little tiny like motorboat. And we were like, there was one other family that we saw out there in the 3 hours that we were out there in the wetlands. And it was just incredible. We saw pelicans, we saw gigantic eagles, we saw all kinds of, birds. And like, even just looking down into the water, like there was legit lily pads with frogs on them.
Oh, cool.
We saw like water snakes. We saw a water snake catch a fish and swim away with it in its mouth.
That's cool.
Watched, frogs swimming underwater, and like terns like flying and diving into the water and getting like fish and stuff. And just kind of the sense of, man, like you could feel the ecosystem, like you could see it all around you. And it was so amazing and so like abundant and natural and away from human presence. It was just so cool and so soothing and so neat. Yeah, it was amazing. And so my joy is like animals and nature, like even the algae and the lily pads and the reeds and stuff. It's just fucking great. I love
nice, man.
Yeah, I just loved, we went on some hikes that were amazing with like waterfalls and hiking up rocks, and it was just really neat. It was a really, really neat experience to go to a place that still has some really wild places that are like accessible. And not ruined. And it was so weird after, I don't know how much you've traveled since the end of COVID, but like everything is overrun with people. Everybody's out traveling, and to the point where we have avoided traveling so much, where we used to travel a lot more. And Romania is like empty. It was great. Plenty of places we were like, oh man, Instagram hasn't found this yet. That's amazing.
Yeah,
this place is fucking great. So yeah, that was my joy. That was my joy for the past several weeks. And it was really cool. And it just reminded me to get out. We came home and sent the kids off to camp, and Jess and I took a hike the next day, and we nearly killed our dog. She slept the whole next day.
Really?
She was so funny. Because she's so out of shape, apparently, from her time at the dog hotel. But yeah, we're making it a point to get out and see more nature and breathe that fresh air. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's good. That's good for the soul.
How about you? How about your joys for the last several weeks?
Okay, so I've got a few, and first I'll it's my broken record here, but I'm on book 3 now of Lonesome Dove, the Lonesome Dove quadrilogy, and it's so good. It's so good, man. I mean, the first one was by far the best one so far. But yeah, the others are good. It's a continuation of all the characters, and like you just see their lives. And I'm sad there's only 4 books because there's so many characters that I would love to like learn more about that we never will. But so another one, a big one that I just realized this morning is, so we're at like it's been really hot these past couple weeks, but like I ordered this thing from the internet where so we have like a deck, and the deck doesn't have an enclosure, so the dogs can like run down the stairs and then they're like out into the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So I bought this little thing until I could figure out another way, but it's just like a standing gate, so it covers it up. So we put the dogs out on the deck a lot, and then in the mornings when it's nice and cool, like Jody and I will sit out there, and in the evenings as well, we'll sit out there on the deck and have coffee or whatever, or read a book, and it's quiet, it's pleasant.
Isn't that so nice?
But dude, it's great. The dogs are out there; they're happy. They're looking out into the neighborhood, and it's just really, really nice. So yeah, that's been a real joy for the past week or so.
That's the one thing I miss about like, or that's not the one thing. It's the one thing I really like. I really miss being in apartment life is having a patio or whatever, just to kind of like go outside and sit and really
just observe and then just listen and just kind of be there with yourself. It's really, really nice. Oh, okay. This is stupid, but I've been killing my succulent plants for years. Like I'm
what a joy.
I'm getting there. So I'll see a cactus or I'll see like a succulent. I'm like, ooh, this is so nice. And I buy it, and it's nice for a while, and then I kill it. So I've had this one for a while, and like it was, characteristically not doing well. And so I described what it looked like to ChatGPT, and it said, well, it could be one of 2 things. And it says this, and it'd be better if you send me a picture. So I took a picture of it, and it's like, oh, it's clearly this. And dude, it looks beautiful again. Like it's apparently these things need water, and that's that's been the problem all along. So yeah, dude, and so I applied the same strategy to some of my other plants, and like they're all returning back to life. I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, yeah. So because I really love these succulents, man, and I already resolved like, all right, I'm not going to buy anymore because I'm just like torturing them to death, and then they're dying. But yeah, maybe this is a new era where I've become a competent succulent owner. So yeah, that's been a joy for me as well. Last 2 things are work related. I saw a broken hip yesterday, which is not joyful at all for the patient, but it was cool to see all the characteristic injuries of a broken hip and be able to identify them right away. And I was kind of, pleased with myself for
your skills with a Z.
Yes, that was joyful. And then this one's not joyful at all, but there were 2 paramedics. I didn't know them. They were from Prince Edward Island, which is a neighboring province. They're all part of the Maritimes. They crashed their ambulance. This was about 2 weeks ago, and they died along with their patient.
Oh.
And the one guy was in his early 50s, had been a paramedic for like 30 years. And the woman who was like 23, she was maybe for a couple of years, she'd been working. Really, really sad.
Yeah.
But man, the online community just has like come together. I've been stopped by people in town, like, thanks for what you do, that kind of thing. And like I said, I didn't know them, but it's just nice to see how like the support that they're being given, and like sort of a recognition of like not necessarily the traumas that the paramedics have to endure, but like the dangers of the job, which can be. I mean, the person in the back was very likely not buckled in. They were attending to their patient, but the real joy for me was they had their autopsies in a town here in New Brunswick, and then they were driven north back to Prince Edward Island, and from the southern city in New Brunswick where they were being examined, there was a funeral procession. They were escorted by police and ambulance all the way, and it's an hours long drive to Prince Edward Island. All along the way, they're on bridges from there to Prince Edward Island. There were fire trucks and ambulances with their sirens as they went under, not sirens, with their lights as they went under the highway. And just being a part of that was really, really, really nice. Like it was emotional even. Like it was just, I don't know, man. It was nice to be a part of. And
it's that community, man.
Yeah, it was. And I mean, unfortunately, these people passed away and left, the impacts that they've left on their families and their friends. But like, at least they were honored and respected for what they've done. So yeah, it was a bittersweet joy for me.
Yeah.
And that's all I got. Oh, I'll get one last lighter joy. You got a cuckoo clock in your house, yeah?
I do.
It chimes every now and then. Well, Jody has one too, and it's been out of service for as long as I've known her. And when we moved into this house, we hung it up, and it's just been like this dead cuckoo clock on the wall because it was missing a little nut that needed to move the hands around. And when her parents went to the Czech Republic,
it had a busted nut.
It had a busted nut, yes. So when her parents went they went to Germany and then they went to Czech Republic, they went to stop into a cuckoo clock shop.
Yeah.
And they picked up a non-busted nut and returned with it and some parts. And all along, I guess we could have ordered it online. I didn't realize. I didn't really know what to look for, but
sure.
And we have been fighting with the accuracy of the clock, but it is now working, and it is a few seconds off here and there, but it is cuckooing on the half hour, and it's joyful. It was annoying at first. It was annoying at first, but I'm really enjoying it. So that's that, man. That my neck is hurting from all my talking, but those are my joys. I am sticking to them. I don't regret anything.
All right, I like it.
All right. Well, if you got any joys, send them to us. OutsideTheManosphere@gmail.com. Send them on Facebook, send them on Instagram. We can read them, have a look. If you have any green flags, we didn't do any flags this episode, but if you have any green flags, let us know. And that's that. Got anything else?
No. Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Thanks for joining us. New podcasts every Wednesday. And if any part of this show has resonated with you, let us know at OutsideTheManosphere@gmail.com, Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. Please like, rate, subscribe to the podcast YouTube channel, or recommend us to a friend. Hasta la pasta.
Mission accomplished.